Free Florida. Oh man, Biden is in big, big trouble. I mean, he is in more trouble than he's ever dreamed of being in before. I mean, this is some really bad times that he is facing. I'm going to change tables. I'm at Starbucks having my morning coffee, and we're going to break this down and we're going to go through it all and just have a good time savoring the exposure of Joe Biden for what he is. I mean, this is just beautiful, beautiful. I'm just changing tables. I'm taking a table for two, so I'll go over here to a table for one. I don't want to be a table hog when other people are coming in for their morning coffee. All right. So, oh, this is great. This is spectacular. It doesn't get better for this. I got my coffee. I'm in Ron DeSantis' Free Florida, just a few minutes away from Mar-a-Lago, where the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, lives. And man, how many of you, by the way, were inspired by that incredible eulogy that Silk gave to her sister last night? I mean, I thought that was beautiful. That was just a spectacular eulogy. Not only that, I mean, her Silk's praise of Donald Trump was absolutely amazing, and that was like one of the most beautiful memorial services I have ever seen. And I know that I'm not alone in that, because President Trump said the same thing when he came up to speak, and it was kind of like a mini Trump rally going on. Someone parked in front of me. They got the headlights in my eyes, but that's okay. Keeping the halogen lights in my eyes will not stop me from reading these great stories. This is just beautiful. Okay, I'm going to go through the whole story, but just to give you a quick summary, there was a 13-hour search of Biden's home. You want to talk about going in late, right? They've been in there for the last couple weeks, Biden and his lowlife team, going through, doing whatever with documents, and then all of a sudden they go in like there's anything left, right? At this point, you would think everything would be gone, but they found more. They found 6 more. I know, it's completely insane. So I'll wait for the headlights to go, and then I will go through. Today's an exciting day. This morning, the reason I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt today, this morning, we have our cruise. This time next week, I'll be on a cruise ship. I'll be out on the ocean, and I'll live stream next Sunday, I'm sure, when I wake up in the morning. We're leaving on our cruise on Saturday on the Celebrity Apex, and one of the executives from Celebrity Cruise Line invited me out with a group. They have people, our travel agents, Steve's wife's coming, and some others, and we're going to take a tour of their new ship, the Celebrity Beyond, which is the sister ship of the one we're going on next week. And they're going to wine and dine us. We're going to have lunch on the cruise ship and everything today. So I'm wearing shorts and my Hawaiian Magnum PI shirt to get ready for it. Okay, so let's go. This is just great story. Here's the headline. All I expect from this administration, this is in the Daily Mail, by the way, all I expect from this administration is another set of lies. Trump and Cruz lead Republicans blasting Biden after the Department of Justice seizes 6 more classified documents from Biden's Delaware home. Now, there's some other stages to this story that have not gotten there yet, because there's been so much new coming in so far as finding documents. They really haven't gotten into what these documents are. I saw it reported on Fox News, I don't know, about a week or so ago, that these are the highest level of classification there are. But and on that first batch at that fake think tank, we heard that they had something to do with Ukraine, the UK, Ukraine, and Iran. But I know we're not going to get the details because they're highly secretive, but we'll get more of the subject matter. That's one thing. Another thing that I was talking about on my stream yesterday was when are they going to start looking back through Biden's life to see how long he's been taking classified intel and doing what we think he did with it? Because when he was in the Senate, he was a senior senator, and I'm sure he had access to all kinds of sensitive information. And they start looking back. I mean, we might have, you guys ever watch The Americans on FX? I mean, we might have a similar situation. Okay, so let's go through this. Republicans have reacted with astonishment. I've not read this version of the story yet from the Daily Mail. I'm reading this cold because I want to experience it with you. All I read was the headline. So I do not know everything that this story contains beyond the headline, right? Republicans have reacted with astonishment and anger to news that prosecutors have seized more classified materials from Joe Biden's home in Delaware. 6 more documents found. The house was searched for almost 13 hours on Friday, and Biden's lawyers announced the find on Saturday evening. Now, I had a podcast last night, which you guys should go and listen to, because we got into some details on some things. Biden's chief of staff has resigned. He's going to leave after the State of the Union, which is in a couple weeks. And I believe Ron Klain, who's been running the country, because this guy is, Dementia Joe, he's resigning because he doesn't want to get deeper into these incredible things. Ron Klain may be a cooperating witness with the special prosecutor, and he's leaving to work in his capacity as a witness. President Trump said the mess was a result of their focus on his mishandling of classified information, which he did not mishandle, but this is the media I'm reading here. Both Trump and Biden are now being investigated by special prosecutors for the material. But Biden on Thursday said there's no there in a bizarre answer when questioned about the discovery. Biden said he had no regrets over his handling of classified materials. Remarks which seem to be coming back to haunt him. No, that's not true. I talk about this a lot. Biden is criminally insane. He does not understand or believe that what he does is criminal. He thinks this is just what you do. You get elected to some job in Washington and you profit from it. He's just corrupt. He's so corrupt he doesn't even know that he's corrupt. I've been saying this for a long time, and every step of the way you see that I was right. California Congressman Darrell Issa mocked Biden's frustrated insistence that he had done nothing wrong. I guess there wasn't nothing there, Mr. President, he said. Ted Cruz, who, by the way, is on the Judiciary Committee, tweeted again, "How in the hell do they keep screwing this up?" What does Ted Cruz mean by screwing it? I mean, getting caught? I mean, what's he mean? What's he mean? The Texas senator added, as Biden repeatedly says, everyone knows how seriously I take classified documents. Yes, we do. His fellow Texan Congressman Pat Fallon tweeted, another set of classified documents found. All I expect from this administration is another set of lies. Mary Miller, the congresswoman from Illinois, said the DOJ quietly raided Biden's home on Friday and found more classified documents. Will Biden be charged with obstruction for his continuing to lie and hide documents? Probably not. Not him personally. The Republican Oversight Committee tweeted, Biden's White House claimed all classified documents were turned over. Now the Justice Department found more. Is the scavenger hunt over? Americans need answers now. Lauren Boebert tweeted last week, Coringe Jean-Pierre, or Cringe, she calls it Cringe, or is it Coringe, K-A-R, yeah, Coringe, I like that, said that the search of Biden's home had been completed. Now we find out that was a complete lie. The White House has lost any remaining shred of credibility on the issue. I'm curious where these new 6 were found. Were they in the toilet, like they claimed with Trump? Elon Musk tweeted, where have they not found classified documents? That might be a shorter list. You got to love Elon Musk. You really do. The Department of Justice revealed that federal investigators found another 6 classified documents in what is now the fourth occasion. So now we've got 4 stashes. Files have been retrieved from Biden's home and private office. The private office, I'm assuming, is the fake think tank. The president and first lady were not at their home when it was searched. The couple, I wonder if they went through Jill's underwear drawer like they did Melania's. Not many people want to go through her underwear drawer. A lot of people want to go through Melania's, right? The Justice Department stated how it took possession of materials it deemed within the scope of its inquiry, including 6 items consisting of documents with classification markings and surrounding materials. Wow, I'm out in front of Starbucks, so if you're wondering where I'm at. Some of the materials were from Biden's service in the Senate. Some from his tenure as vice president. See, this is what I was telling you guys. How long has he been taking classified documents? I would think he has been taking classified documents pretty much for as long as he's had access to them. And he had to have access to, now of course not things as sensitive as he had as vice president or, you know. Do you think we're at a point where Biden should lose his access to classified materials at this point? Don't you think? I mean, is this not a time that the vice president should invoke the 25th Amendment? I mean, this is high level criminal activity. If any of you did this, you know, you'd be surrounded by you know, federal agents and you'd be in a dungeon, you know. Prosecutors took for further review personally handwritten notes. Okay, so I've got a timeline here. Okay. November 2nd, classified documents found at the Penn Biden fake think tank. All right. That was November 2nd. November 3rd, the next day, they told the National Archives. On November 4th, it says DOJ informed, and my recollection is that the Biden team did not inform the DOJ. The original reports were the archives informed the Justice Department. Then we had the elections. The day after the elections, shocker, the FBI investigation begins. November 14th, the Attorney General appoints a U.S. attorney to investigate. Then skip from November 14th all the way to January 5th. The U.S. attorney recommends a special counsel. July 9th, Jean-Pierre tells the public about the first set of documents. January 12th, the documents found in Biden's home. That's the garage, and then he confessed to others. Also on January 12th, 5 more files found at the home in Wilmington. January 14th, Jean-Pierre confirms 5 files found on January 12th. January 20th, the DOJ searched the Biden home and found 6 more classified docs. Well, they're leaving out a lot of information there, okay? And, you know, as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I'll just kind of go backwards a little bit. Biden's chief of staff, Kane, who many believe has been running the country for 2 years, has announced he's leaving his job as chief of staff. Chief of staff is the number 2 job in D.C. Number 1's president, number 2 is chief of staff. They run everything. And this guy has been running the country. He's leaving after the State of the Union. And they have this fake story, oh, it's an exhausting job, blather, blather, blather. He's leaving because he doesn't want to get deeper into this, and I believe Kane is cooperating with the special counsel at the Justice Department, and he is a witness that he has probably made a deal to avoid prosecution, because on Friday, you know, you go back from that, on Friday there were 2 big stories, right? The one that came out later in the day on Friday, and I've done detailed podcast on all of this, so go back. My podcast, the Brian Craig Show podcast, is on all podcast platforms, okay? If there's a podcast platform, I'm on it, the Brian Craig Show podcast, and I upload my podcast here on my YouTube channel too, guys, so you can listen here. But, there were 2 big stories on Friday, and I'm going in reverse order. In the afternoon, we found out that there was a tight team of Biden insiders that for 68 days, not only covered after the documents were found, after 68 days, were doing everything they could to not only keep the story from becoming public, but they were interfering with the Justice Department. They were running an obstruction of justice operation to stop any investigation or prosecution. On that team was Joe Biden's sister, who's been running all of his campaigns. That came out Friday afternoon. That's huge stuff. You know, I live streamed yesterday morning, and there have been 2 bombshells on this story since then, right? I mean, I had a podcast late in the day last evening, and after the podcast was uploaded, we got this other news story about the 6 more documents. I mean, it's amazing how I've never seen a scandal with a Democrat move so quickly. Okay, so anyway, this team of people, we got a lot of names from it, and you got to assume something at that level Klain had to be involved in. So I think he's cut a deal. And then, of course, Friday morning I had a story that I did the entire radio show on Friday about this Kathy Chung, whose name has disappeared from everything, which means she's either back in Beijing or they got her, you know, in a safe house, and she's a cooperating witness as well. And she, we don't know a lot about her. Her name's Kathy Chung, Chinese-sounding name. She could be an all-American girl from Kansas. I don't know, but her name is Kathy Chung. She was top assistant to Biden when he was vice president at his Senate office, and gave thousands of classified, very sensitive intelligence information to Hunter that he walked out with, including the phone numbers to a lot of officials. And I was telling you guys yesterday, those she gave cell phone numbers. This is when Biden was vice president, to Hunter. He walked out with them, of President Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Pelosi, almost the entire Obama cabinet, many others, an FBI director, Louis Freed, and Secret Service agents, all kinds of stuff. And what that does is a lot of things. Obviously, once they got the cell phone number, they're in everyone's phone. They got all the data in their phone, which means their passwords to everything on their computers, so they're in their computers. They've got a listening device to hear any conversations they have, even if they think their phone is off. But they also have a camera so they can see everything that goes on, which also not only brings in intel, but blackmail material, you know, from those cell phone numbers that Hunter walked out with from this Kathy Chung. So a lot has happened in the last 4 days. And the media should be shut down right now. The media should be shut down and focused on this and nothing but this. And if this were a Republican president, they would have resigned. They'd be resigning by Friday. I mean, the transition to Kamala Harris must be taking place, because this is just huge. So tell me what you guys think in the chat room, and I'll you know, maybe I'll go through some of your comments. But I mean, this is just huge stuff. I got to drink my coffee, so let me take it. And you can tell my voice still is not 100%. Oh man. I mean, this is exciting stuff, people. This is exciting stuff. I tell you, does not get better than this. Oh man, so today I'm taking the cruise line. I was talking at the top of the stream, the cruise line. We're taking our cruise next Saturday. We leave on our week-long cruise. And don't worry, I'll check in with you guys. You know, on the cruise line, we have Elon Musk's satellite internet system. So I'll be streaming. If anything happens, I'll be there. Believe me, I'll be up to date on the week, on the cruise that I'm gone for a week, and I'll be right here on YouTube breaking all the news. Yeah, Starlink. And I have the fastest internet connection that Starlink provides. So I'll get a little test of that. But so believe me, I will not be out of touch or out of sight next week, no matter where I am. I have my iPad, my iPhone, I'm taking my computer, my MacBook, I'm taking my microphones and everything else. I could even connect to the radio station and go live on the air if need be. So, yeah, I'm just excited. So the cruise line invited me on a tour of the Celebrity Beyond, the sister ship of the cruise we're going on, and going with our travel agent, Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot, with some friends that we invited to go with us, and Steve's wife's going too. And when you take these tours, it's really super cool. They have an executive from the cruise line who takes you through the entire ship, and you know, they give you champagne, drinks, you know, they give us a tour of like the penthouse suites and all this stuff, and then we have a beautiful gourmet lunch at a 5-star restaurant, you know. So I got to be at the port at 10. So I'm wearing my Magnum PI Cabana cruise clothes. Oh man. I'm deciding whether I'm going to drive to the port in my car or take the MAGA scooter, because it's a beautiful day here. The weather is beautiful. The Trump hat is in my car. I don't wear my Trump hat when I go inside Starbucks and order my coffee, okay? They would, at best, they'd give me decaf, so. Oh man, this is awesome. I'm the MAGA scooter. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Oh, yeah. There's no COVID testing or vaccine requirements. You know, and I'm gonna make a video of the tour today. I'll make a vlog that I'll upload on YouTube either today or tomorrow. Oh yeah, I'm wearing shorts. You know, Vans, no socks. But I'm excited. I'm excited. This is, I mean, you know, it's what's happening to Joe Biden is what would have happened to Hillary had she become the president. You know, you can get away with your scumminess and your criminality until you get to that level. Because what happens with these, I will not be doing the radio show on the cruise unless there's, you know, major news. But I'll be on YouTube. If something major happens, I'll get on the radio station. I'll get on the air somehow. But yeah, it'd have to be major breaking news for me to go on the radio. But I'll be here on YouTube. I always live stream on the. If anyone who's in here who's been on the cruises, you don't see me without my phone in my hand. So I tell everybody, assume you're, you know, either being live streamed or headlights again, or filmed at all times if you're with me. Yeah, a little blinded there from the headlights. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, if you are new to my channel and like the video. The MAGA scooter with a case of eggs. What would the eggs be for? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's right now. It's let me see what the weather is now. I know it's in the 70s right now because I did check that before I left the house. But let me see here. Let me see what the weather is going to be today. Let's see. Right now. Yeah, I know it's, I see what the weather's going to be today. Yeah, it's 71 degrees right now. I know that because I checked before I came, but I cannot. The weather's coming up slow. It's going to be in the 80s today. Let me try this app. I couldn't get the weather app to open. This person, they parked the car and they go inside and they left it. Okay, it is 73 degrees right now. And today's high is going to be 85 degrees. So, yeah. So when it is 10 o'clock, when I have to be, it's going to be 80 degrees when I get to the cruise ship. And when I get off, it's going to be about 85 degrees. Has Greg, too, gone on the cruise? No. No, we really don't get liberal jerks going on the cruise. I mean, you know. On the first cruise, there was a weirdo who caused a scene, and then he disappeared for the whole cruise. And on the last cruise, People in the group I didn't even know about this till it was over, but there was one person that was kind of stalked us on the cruise. They weren't in our group, and they kept trying to break into our group events. And by the fifth day or so, security came and told them they'd throw them in the brig if they didn't leave us alone. They have a brig on board. Oh, how can it not be a great day when Biden's facing justice? No, Hillary would have gone through the same thing because, what these people are corrupt public officials, they're criminals. And then when they get the top job in the White House, they can't stop doing crime. They just escalate their level of crime. And the people they've been doing crime for, well, they owe a lot of favors to, and then they really got to pay them back. Look what Hillary did when she was Secretary of the State. When she was Secretary of State, she signed off on that Uranium One deal, giving the Russians 20% of the U.S. uranium supply, which they did it through this Canadian company and everything. And now here we are, not only really in a war with Russia, but they're talking about nuclear weapons and Russia using nuclear weapons. And if Russia uses nuclear weapons, chances are those weapons are weaponized with American uranium that Hillary Clinton gave to them. So when you're that level of corrupt public official as Hillary, she'd be in the same situation because she would have just escalated her crimes when she got to the White House. Oh, man. Very exciting. Very exciting. Oh, yeah. How many of you, give me a yes or no, how many of you watched Diamond for Diamond and Silk's memorial service? That was just amazing. Amazing. And Silk, I liked what President Trump said. I thought you were the quiet one, and she is, let me tell you, Silk is going to be a bigger star than ever, because she does not hold back. She didn't do any of the talking. Diamond did, and Diamond kept her in check, and she just lays it all out. And I was crying watching her speak, and the way I was really tearing up. Both of my eyes. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was crying, listening to the way that she was there. Basically, Diamond died in her arms. And she talked about how when President Trump called her and everything, and I was crying. And that was just amazing. And she told that story about, am I the only guy that cried watching that? I watched it on Right Side Broadcasting. So I don't know if it's still up there or not. But Silk told that story of finding the homeless woman in the Trump property, and he let her stay there and made sure she had flowers every day and all that stuff. It was just beautiful. We don't know, Ursula. We don't know. You could think either way by the way Silk was talking. But we don't know. They haven't said, and if you listen to what she said, you could think either way, so I don't know. Of course, Mike Lindell was there. And, Mike Lindell, he follows me on Twitter, which he did before, but he refollowed me since he came back. And Carrie Lake was there. I'll show you guys. Saying some Mike Lindell follows you. Isn't that cool? There he is. I think that's pretty cool. Being followed by Mike Lindell. Oh, Mike Lindell was awesome. Yeah, he was awesome. No doubt about it. Yeah, there's other celebrities that follow me. Some, because I'll get messages sometimes. some celebrities follow me and with like different accounts that aren't like wouldn't know are them, which is interesting. But I was talking last night about this on the podcast a little bit about Right Side Broadcasting, and Right Side, obviously the Trump rallies will be starting because he'll be campaigning and everything. But Right Side Broadcasting should have an operation like the Daily Wire. I did not realize how much money the Daily Wire had until this Steven Crowder thing came up. And I'll tell you guys straight out, Right Side Broadcasting should be doing what the Daily Wire is doing. They should reach out to me and people like me, not just me, but people like me, and create this incredible platform that would rival any of this, what Crowder's calling Big Con, which would be amazing. And they really should do that. If any of you have any contacts with Right Side, get in touch with them and tell them about me. I mean, I know some people there, but if I go and tell them, it's a little self-serving. I mean, people now say, "Oh, I mentioned on the podcast last night. I got some. Oh, you're trying to get a job with Right." I'm not trying to get a job with Right Side. What I'm telling you is that the Daily Wire is anti-Trump. And they have the kind of money to pay Crowder $50 million, actually more, $1 million a month. It's a big, and yeah, Mike Nificent's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He had a falling out with them, and unfortunate. He's a very good guy, and he's moved sadly out of Florida. But Right Side Broadcasting really needs to do more than what they're doing. They have the ability to do it. And I would love to be a part of that. And I don't care, people, like I heard Mark Dice talking, oh, people say that I'm trying to get a job with Big Con. So what? Yeah. I mean, I would love to partner with Right Side Broadcasting and Mike Lindell and set up something, and I mean beyond the rally coverage. Set up something like the Blaze have or the Daily Wire, except have a true MAGA platform. Like Dave Rubin, who's gotten very smug and full of himself. I'm a DeSantis guy, but he won't admit it, but he doesn't want Trump to run. He wants DeSantis to run. And you can see it. He's got a thing for the Daily Wire, the Blaze. These are all anti-MAGA groups. They don't let on about it as much as they would like because they don't want to alienate us, but they are, and I would love to partner with Right Side Broadcasting, and there's a lot of guys like me, and build something with Mike Lindell, Right Side, me and others, and build something huge, and and I'll do it for half of what Crowder turned down, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on Crowder and this thing with the Daily Wire. But what Crowder did a couple things. One in particular that to me, I do not like that he recorded that guy from the Daily Wire without him knowing. I don't like that at all. I just don't like that at all. That is, how you guys hear me talk about all the time, I don't say something that I wouldn't say on the air. That goes with my conversations, But when you're talking business, listen, recording someone without them knowing and then playing it publicly, I wouldn't. That is so over the line to me. I mean, I don't like that at all. And now I think Crowder has done permanent damage, short-term gains with the Mug Club, and he's very talented and very good. I mean, I've never heard him say anything. I don't follow him that much, guys, because I don't really... I don't watch a lot of other people or listen to a lot of other shows because I don't want to be influenced by them as to what I talk about or what I don't talk about or what I think about this or that. You know what I mean? And if I start listening to everybody's show, I start, thinking, well, maybe I need to talk about this today or that today. So I don't, So I haven't watched Crowder too much. I've probably watched Crowder total watch time, and I'm not, 90 minutes, 2 hours, total watch time in the history of Crowder and me watching. So, but I've never heard him say anything that on the issues that I would disagree with. Well, thank God. I'm not taking a trip. The ship is not leaving port today. It's going to stay in port. It'll leave port, but not with me. I'm just taking a tour with an executive from the cruise line and a group of friends before the ship leaves. This coming Saturday, I'm leaving. And so the recording of the phone call to me is that says a lot about someone. I don't like that at all. And the other thing, this idea that he's above money. Guys, listen. This is what we do for a living, and it's great, man. It's a great life, But it's there's a lot. What you guys see here is 1% of what goes into anyone's content. Even this morning, before I live streamed, I got up at 4 a.m. this morning, just see what was going on and make sure I'm informed about everything that's going on in the news and everything before I go and live stream. And this is just to have a cup of coffee, and the business end of things is very complex, very busy. I have meetings almost every day when I get off the air, and with people on the business side of things. And like tomorrow morning when I get off the air, I got a big meeting, and I have to get into there's a whole business in, and but this thing about Crowder being above money is beyond credibility. And then you go to his thing to sign up for the Mug Club, I hate to agree with Candace Owens, because what Candace Owens said about Donald Trump a few weeks ago is unforgivable, okay? But I saw her on Tim Pool, and I think her analysis was spot on. I should have a drinking contest against Steve. Yeah. I don't know. I think Steve could outdrink me. Steve and I went to a Japanese restaurant, and he ordered sake, and for both of us, right? We had the whole thing of sake. It was just the two of us, and I drank that first. I was like, oh God, it tastes. He's like, don't worry, the second one will taste better. He said, by the third one, it'll be spectacular. I probably could, yeah. Oh man, but no. Come on, who's against making a living? That's just beyond the realm of possibility. But the thing with Crowder, I think what the thing with Crowder was, and Mark Dice has said this several times, and I think Mark Dice is credible. He said they offered him $12.5 million a year, and he wanted $30 million a year because he wanted to make more money himself and also pay his guys and his staff and everything else. And I was watching Lauren Chen talk about, his parents even work for him on his program. So he's got a lot of people to support and everything else. And I got a lot of people to support too, But we all have people to support, right? All of you guys do too. I did see that. It was funny. It was funny. But I don't really watch him too much. I do watch some people. I do watch Tim Pool. I'll watch once or twice a week. Lauren Chen. Savannah Hernandez says, I'll watch her from time to time. Yeah. Jimmy Dorn, no. Those are just people that show up in my YouTube feed that I, but I subscribe to, Sam says, Savannah Hernandez, Lauren Chen. I subscribe to Tim Pool on YouTube. I do subscribe to Dave Rubin, but I really don't watch it. I just think he's gotten too full of himself. He's a little smug. Don't you guys think? I don't know. I could be wrong. Liz Wheeler, I do watch Liz Wheeler on occasion. Not too much, but I do watch Liz Wheeler on occasion. You gotta be careful because if you start watching when you do it like what I do, if you start watching and listening to a lot of different people, you start to it starts to influence what you do, what you talk about. You're disappointed with Ruben. Why is that, Lisa? Well, since he moved to Florida, I just think his ego has exploded. I mean, that's just, and it's very difficult to, you really don't want to be too friendly with the people that you're talking about, all right? Like Ron DeSantis or even President Trump. And I give you an example that's a little unrelated. You guys know PJ? PJ might be in here watching, so don't get offended, PJ. But PJ's been a friend of mine for a long time. We've known each other for like 15 years or something. He goes on the cruises, and PJ is also a not too much Clayton Morris. Read how he ended up in Portugal. Look it up. I like him, but it's a strange story. PJ is also a journalist, a conservative journalist. He's been a writer with Newsbusters forever and ever. And PJ, because we're friends, I give him too much latitude on the air, and he calls in talking about food. All he thinks about is food, and I call him the show killer. And when you're friends with someone, you can't really talk about them the same way or talk to them the same way. Yeah, you know what I mean? And what happens a lot of times to people, I'm not saying this has happened to, that's true, Rome. I'm not saying this has happened to Dave Rubin, but I think it has, but I'm not 100% sure. What's happened with Dave Rubin is he's here in Florida, he's hung out with DeSantis a few times, you get in these celebrity circles, and all of a sudden you think you're a movie star on the red carpet. Oh, PJ's a great guy. He's a real friend of mine. He texts me all the time. And we talk a lot, but he's a deadly caller. He sucks. He's a show killer when he calls the show, but he gets away with it because I let him because we're such good friends, But a lot of these conservatives like Dave Rubin, they start hanging out with all these A-list Republicans, and then all of a sudden their egos, get the best of them, and they think they're all that. And I just, I've been doing this for a long time, okay, and I have, to say this, to even say this would sound like it, I do, but I don't. I have zero celebrity ego. Steve says I have like anti-ego, because I'm just not like that. But I see things in people sometimes, and it's most prominent on YouTube because you see people. Dave Rubin has a different look to himself when he's on. He's in love with himself now. He's got a smirk on his face. He's just got a different look. There's I'm not going to go through a list of people because I don't need to throw everybody under the bus, but there's a couple of YouTubers that I have followed for some time, and they just got, like, in their mind, they're like YouTube famous, and I can, not only do I see a difference in their personality, you can tell when someone is in love with themselves. And like right now, I'm live streaming on my phone. Anytime anyone is on YouTube, this is why you see it mostly on YouTube, okay? Like right now, I'm live streaming on my phone, my iPhone, sitting here at Starbucks, and I see myself. All these people see themselves, and that's why the smirk comes in, because they're in love with themselves. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I probably shouldn't get into any of this stuff because I'm just going to get myself in trouble. Well, no, I don't know. I better stop talking about that stuff, or I'm going to, you know. I mean, I've been on the radio, on the air since I was like 18, 19 years old. So my whole life, I've had some bit of, you know, and I've been on the radio down here in Florida for so long. I mean, I get recognized by people and stuff all the time, all over the place. And, you know, Kathy and I, like, we went to IHOP. And, you know, and I went to pay. And there was a listener in there. They paid our check. They left. They didn't even say anything to us. They said, hi, hey, Brian. And then they paid our check. You know, so I've kind of, you know, had kind of like that kind of recognition since I was like really a teenager. Some kind of, I guess, you know, these people that shoot the superstardom that are much more well known than me, it happens so quick, and then all of a sudden they're smirking when they look at themselves on their camera while they're making their YouTube videos. I mean, give me a break. I don't know if any of that makes sense to you guys, but you know, that's why I told Kathy, I said, if you ever catch me making a YouTube video that's one of those things like 20 things you didn't know about Brian Craig, stop me. Or if I do a YouTube video where I'm going to answer YouTube watchers' questions about me, stop me. Don't ever let me do those videos. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my gosh. Well, when the Daily Wire, when, you know, this is something, you know, because so they offered exactly. The first time I noticed that third person talk, Chuck, was oh shoot. I cannot believe I just forgot the guy's name. Michael Jordan. How could I forget Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan gave a press conference, and I don't know anything about his career other than he's like the greatest or whatever. And I guess he retired, and he was coming back. I don't know. He had a press conference, and I was watching this press conference with Michael Jordan, and he said, and this is what he said. I couldn't believe this. He says. Will Michael Jordan ever return to basketball? Well, I don't know. Michael Jordan will decide when Michael Jordan comes back to basketball, not someone else. No one tells Michael Jordan. And I'm like, what an ego. He's calling himself Michael Jordan. You know? That's the third person talk that Chuck was talking about. Oh my goodness. Oh. I do have to go home, though, before I go to the cruise ship. But I don't live too far from here. Trump is different. Trump is on a whole nother level freedom soup of existence. Nothing I ever say or comment applies to Trump. Michael Jordan is no Trump. No. Trump is... President Trump is not a mortal man. He's a superhuman. Bob Dole's different. Bob Dole was just a bit of a... I met him once. He was pretty cool. Now, the start of the cruise is Saturday. That's right. Making the supermarket great again. Oh, so I got to decide. Kathy told me I should drive the car, not the MAGA scooter, to the port, because it is a bit of a drive. It would, but I don't know. It's a beautiful day. I think I'm going to take the scooter. I always worry when I take the MAGA scooter if it's going to run. It gets like 50 miles a gallon, but it only holds like a little more than a gallon of gas. Now, regular human standards do not apply to President Trump. Well, one of the I don't know if you guys saw this. Where would I leave the scooter? In the parking lot. It has a key and a lock. I also have a wheel lock. No, it's not on any main highways. But it takes longer to get there on the non-main highways. That's the thing. If I take my car, I can take like the Florida Turnpike. I can get there in 25 minutes. If I take the scooter, it'll take me 45 minutes. So I gotta decide. But it is a beautiful day. Oh my goodness, the sun is rising. Yeah, Trump is Trump. But one of the pastors at Diamond's Memorial got up last night and he said, you know, Diamond's up there talking to Jesus, saying, please, Jesus, make Donald Trump president again. That is true. That is true. I could see that, yeah. And Rome says I should take the car. Yeah, I probably will. Yeah, I don't understand what they're rioting for in Atlanta. There was, it's kind of vague. Hold on, let me pull this up. Because I was reading a particular story about it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this one story I saw that gave some bizarre explanation. Who's going to trash the scooter at a cruise port? Let's see here. Okay, here's an article. Antifa. It's Antifa. We know that, right? But it says here, a protest in Atlanta turned violent on Saturday as demonstrators set a police car on fire and smashed windows of buildings. Those being arrested screamed, "I can't breathe," despite clearly being able to breathe. Marchers gathered to protest the killing of an activist by law enforcement Wednesday during a raid to clear an autonomous zone dubbed Cop City. Antifa rioters armed with explosives and hammers. That's crazy. That's insane. Insane. They really have no reason. They're just violent. They're just violent thugs who want to get violent. I mean, they really have nothing to... they have no grievances. They just want to be violent. Oh, gosh. Silk said a lot. How long was Silk up there? An hour? Hour and 15 minutes? And it was great, you know? It was great. I mean, there wasn't... When Silk was talking, it was not... there wasn't one moment you should try to find it and watch the whole thing. And I'll tell you, I think we're going to see Silk in a much more prominent position in the Trump rallies. I really do. I think she's going to be very prominent at the Trump rallies during the campaign. President Trump, I think, was blown away by her at that service last night. Oh, Silk, I mean, I've never really heard her talk before. And she just did unbelievably well. I'm surprised there are not more people getting coffee. Few people have come and gone, but not that many. Well, it's Sunday morning, you know. She did have a lot to say. And she had nothing to... Yeah, Mark Lamont Hill, what a jerk. He's just a jerk. Oh, they're honking at each other. You don't hear too many honks. in this part of town. She's a strong woman. Yeah. Diamond must have had to really tame her. But watching, yeah, I agree with that, Chuck. Those ministers, they should have gone up there for 2 to 5 minutes, 3 to 5. It was way too long. But, what that showed me last night is Silk was responsible for most of their content, because she's the one that, you could tell by the way she was she's a good singer. Silk could release an album of MAGA gospel music. Would you guys buy Silk's album of MAGA gospel music? I would. I'd buy it. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I was impressed with her singing. She can sing. Yeah. I've been putting off getting a haircut because I want to have like a great haircut for the cruise. So my hair is much longer than I normally would allow it to be. Oh, that was unbelievably sad. How Diamond died. I mean, that was and totally unexpected. No. I know. That was really just awful. Awful. Well, I mean, Silk is going to be huge. I mean, and Lindell TV is going to probably end up featuring her a lot more than they were being featured before, because she's just, I mean, she is probably one of the most outspoken, honest MAGA people out there. I mean, she just went over everything. And that if you go and watch it, okay, I would start when Silk comes up. Personally, I mean, I know a lot of people up there, and interesting, but I would start with Silk, and those of you that watch probably would agree. And then, of course, President Trump comes up after her, and she was up there with her husband. It's about the terms of the contract, and no, it's about the money. It's about the money. You're talking about Crowder. It's not about the terms of the contract. I mean, what in the terms of the contract were so unfair? And I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Daily Wire. I hate to be, I don't want to I'm defending them, but the terms of the contract, which, by the way, were all open to negotiation, seem pretty fair to me. They did not ask for his control of his private social media or any of that. The dad was funny too. Yeah, the dad was very funny. Yeah, but the pastors, they had too many pastors, and the pastors spoke too long. No, he didn't have, Crowder didn't have any negotiations. He just went scorched earth. Short-term gain, long-term, big mistake. Big mistake. In my opinion. Let me tell you, tell me yes or no. Did Crowder make a mistake recording the guy's phone call and all this stuff, yes or no? Because, I mean, I say yes. It wasn't a contract. Who would want to do business with someone that could be recording you at any particular time in a conversation and then make it public? I mean, would you want to work with someone like that? I think that's crazy. Yeah. I did not know. Candace Owens was on Tim Pool, and I watched a little bit of it, and I did not know. She said that Crowder was a child actor. I had no idea. It's common nowadays. It's illegal to do that, and a lot of states, and it's certainly not the moral thing to do. It is sleazy. Yeah, I do not appreciate that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Recording is not fine. Without the other party knowing, no way. Mm-mm. I'm sorry, that is not fine. That's like when liberals are recording you on their phones out in public. It's an intimidation tactic. No. It wasn't a contract. It was just I don't know what the term they used, but it was an offer. Well, what Veritas is doing is journalism. What Crowder was doing was, I don't know, intimidation. Well, no, it was not a business call. He called the guy out of the blue and had all the recording information, you know, tech all set up, ready to go. And that's the thing, too. So when, you know, I was talking about this on the podcast the other night, that's what happened to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. His wife would record him on the phone without him knowing, and then she would do things to trigger him to get a reaction that she could take to court. It's like, look, he's a monster, Johnny Depp. So, you know, that he called him to get a recording and brings things in that make him look good, right? He brings things up in a way to make, no, it's not. And by the way, he didn't even release the full conversation. He only released the parts that I guess he wanted to share. I just think that's a sleaze move. You know, and I'll tell you, I watched Crowder's video when he played it, and the look on his face when he hit the record button was really not a good look. Go and watch. Don't do it now. I'll be done in a few minutes, okay? I'm almost done with my coffee, and I got to go home and grab my stuff and go to the port. But go back, watch Crowder's video when he plays the recording, and look at the expression on his face when he's about to do it. That's not a good look. I'm sorry. That's not a good look. That's you know what I'll tell you. You know what he did was very similar to what Stormy Daniels was trying to do. It's almost like an extortion thing, you know. Because Crowder went scorched earth, you know. Mm-hmm. No, you can't trust someone that records you. I mean, no. Especially when they don't release the whole thing. But even releasing the whole thing, it's sleazy. I wouldn't do it. Well, listen, guys. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. I'll be on the air tomorrow morning. Don't worry, guys. I'm just visiting a ship today. I'm not leaving for a week. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. And if everyone could please like the video. Only a handful of you have liked the video so far. Before you go, please like the video. Liking the video helps a lot. Okay? It helps a lot. When you like the video, it tells the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video and my other videos to people that have not yet found my channel. So liking the video helps a lot, guys. So please do that. And my cruise tour, I'll either have that video up today or tomorrow. So it depends on what time I get off the ship and everything else. All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Thanks for